In our continued quest to be the voice of the voiceless, City Talk TV for City Talk blog continues with part 2 of For the Love of Chibuike.
Justice for my late younger brother Chibuike Edu.
At this point, Oliver reminds us that Chibuike has been arrested by SARS officers and taken to their office in Newmarket, Enugu.
Then when they took Chibuike there, they tortured Chibuike. They tortured this boy to the point that the boy could not even utter a word. Then after 2 days of it, that is when I got to know that my late younger brother was arrested by SARS people, the admin manager, in the person of Mr. Ben Oke.
The admin manager, Mr. Ben Oke, to whom Oliver is referring, is actually the administration manager at Intersil Products Limited, Emene, in Enugu.
He called on me. I was, in fact, in my office that very day. He called me at, it was around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. When he called me, he was asking me, am I aware that my younger brother was, arrested by SARS? I said, no, nobody told me. How come? What happened? He said that I should go to the SARS office at the Newmarket, Enugu, to find out what Chibuike, what happened. When I got to the SARS office at the Newmarket, Enugu, then I demanded to see my younger brother, Chibuike Edu. Then they asked me to pay, money. About 2 points there, they asked me to pay the first one, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, before I could see my younger late brother that was arrested. After that, they brought out the guy. In fact, when I saw my younger brother, he was tortured. If you see the body, the bruises and the scars all over his body.
In August 2015, the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police Force split SARS into 2 units, a decision that was reached in order to help mitigate further abuse of human rights by SARS. This looks like it may not have worked.
Chibuike could not even, speak further. Then I asked Chibuike, what happened? Just tell me exactly what happened. He told me that what happened that day was that he came to office on the 9th of May. Then when he got to the office, he saw a group of people with the healers. Then they were asking me, well, are you Chibuike Edu? He told them, yes. Immediately, they handcuffed him and they collected his phone. They could not allow him to talk. They said that when he get to office, he will explain. That was what happened. Then when they got to the office, they took him to a particular room. They started torturing him with a lot of weapons. In fact, with the iron and all kinds of things. Then, at the end of everything, they asked him to make a confessional statement. Then he told them that he did not know anything about what they were accusing him of. Then, at that point, they left him. Then, at the end of everything, they said that if he made the confession, if he confessed that he was part of the stealing, in fact, they were going to release him. Chibuike stick to his way that nothing on earth, that something he did not know about, nobody will force him to make a kind of confessional statement. It's better, rather he will die in his word, in his truth, instead of saying what he did not know. Then at the end of everything, they not told him that since you want to die in our office, there is no problem until you make a confess, or you confess that you were part of the stealing. Despite the torture they meted on him, Chibuike stick to his word that he knew nothing about the stealing, the theft that went in that office. Then after 5 days of it, we went back with my auntie. When we got there, I demanded to see the IPO that was handling the case. Then one of the police officers there, he told me that the man, the IPO, in fact, in the person of Mr. Everest, because that is the IPO that was handling the case, that the man was not in the office. Then I waited more than 5 hours before I could see this man. In fact, when I saw him, the man could not even give me audience to know what has happened to my younger brother and why he was brought to SARS. Then we waited there more than 5 hours. At the end of everything, we have to call on our lawyer to come and rescue the boy. So the man now came. When the man came, then he demanded to see the lawyer, the IPO, handling the case. Then they refused the access of the lawyer to the IPO. Then when the lawyer eventually called on the IPO told him on phone that he was in an exhibit room, that he will not see him that very day, it should be next day. In fact, the lawyer at that point in time, the lawyer was so disappointed, he didn't know what to do. The man was even shouting. He said that he was going to take the matter to court the next day. In fact, while he was even looking for the IPO, he just for him to get some information from the IPO before taking the matter to the court. Then unfortunately, the next day of the incident, after that very day, I went back to my office. My aunt also, she went back home, you know, hoping that the next day, you know, with the lawyer, we are going to, you know, settle the matter in court. So that very evening, I was in my office. The same admin officer, manager, that called me the day Chibuike was arrested, the same person called me. He told me that I should go to Park Lane, Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, ESUT. He said I should go there, that one of the policemen called him that there is a way Chibuike was feeling, and they have taken the boy to Park Lane. I said, okay, and it was already night. I said, okay, when it's morning, I will go down, find out, you know, what happened. And that was what I was telling them, that they should release this boy, so that the way they torture him, all his body, scars all over his body, that the guy really needed medical attention, and they refuse us. Now they have seen that the boy, they have tortured him to the point that the boy could not bear it. They are not taking him to Park Lane. There is no problem. I will see him. When I got there the next day, in fact, I met the nurse. The nurse, I told him, look at the person I was, and this is what I came for. The nurse, she started crying. She busted into cry. She said that, so you were the brother to that young boy. I said, yes, I am the person. It's okay. She was sorry that the boy is late.
Chibuike Edu was allegedly taken to Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, by SARS officers and the Executive Director of Intersil Products Limited at around 10 p.m. on May 18, 2016, where he allegedly died on the floor of the hospital within 10 minutes of his arrival at the hospital.
And I said, okay, what has happened? How did he die? Did you explain to me? She told me that, in fact, the SARS people, they brought Chibuike into the hospital around 10 p.m. together with the man that has the company, the executive director. So when they brought the Chibuike there, it was not even to 10 minutes. The boy gave up the ghost. He died. There was no medical attention. Nobody cares. In fact, they dropped the boy on the floor. Nobody cared to attend to the boy. At the end of every, when the boy gave up the ghost, from the point, they called the SARS people and the man that has the company again to come. And they came. The man that has the company, the executive director, together with the SARS officials, they now carry the body. They said that they took the body to UNTH, Ituku Ozara, of which I don't know where that Ituku Ozara, you know, is. The security man that was accused of the same thing, together with Chibuike, that one also, in fact, if you see the kind of man, they slaughtered the man. If you look his neck, there was an injury there. In fact, the man was at point of death. Even his ankle, in fact, they broke the ankle. Okay, then the brother to the security man was there. He said that he was there when they brought Chibuike, and when they brought Chibuike, nobody even attended to the guy in terms of medical attention. Then after like 10 minutes, the boy died.
As part of our continued quest to be the voice of the voiceless, City Talk TV for City Talk Blog was able to catch up with the brother of the security personnel from Adamawa State, who was also arrested along with Chibuike Edu by SARS officers, to give us an account of the events.
People, they came with the man, the executive director of Intersil Products Limited, MN, when they came, and one of the policemen, the SARS, one of them said, it's an Hausa man. He said that, in fact, since the boy refused to confess, he said that now the boy has died, now the animal in the bush will eat up the body. Because he refused to make a confessional statement. Brother to the security man was an Hausa man. He was hearing what the man said. So, at the end of everything, the executive director, in the person of Chinedu Arodiogu, together with the SARS people, they took Chibuike body to unknown destination. Up to this point, myself, the brother to late Chibuike, and my mother agent's widow. My elder brother died 3 months ago. We buried him. And we've not disclosed this to my mother because of the psychological trauma she's undergoing right now because of the death of my elder brother. He died, in fact, that was a March. So at this point, the company has not communicated to the family of the deceased. Neither the police, the SARS, has communicated. We've not gotten any information.
City Talk TV for City Talk blog will be concluding Oliver Edu's account of events that led to the death of Chibuike Edu in part 3 of our blog series, For the Love of Chibuike.